Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is from Cali Distillery. This is Tower 11 Bourbon Whiskey, finished in French oak, coming in at a 49.5% ABV. Now, for full disclosure, I reached out to the Cali Distillery for a review sample. They were kind enough to send this over for us to take a look at and a review, so just keeping that transparency open. Now, Tower 11 here is actually one of the newest releases coming from the Cali Distillery, where they've paired up with Brent Young, who you might have heard a few of his songs in passing from time to time, but essentially the bottle itself is named after the lifeguard station number 11, which he always grew fond of from surfing and has kind of carried that number 11 with him since that point in time. Now, when it comes to the whiskey itself, doing a little bit of research with the press kit that was given out with the bottling, they do tell us the mash bill on here, which is 70% corn, 23% rye, and 7% malted barley, which would give it that high rye classification that they're talking about. And to build off that, they actually tell us two different specific types of grains being used, one of those being yellow kernel field corn and toasted flaked rye. And after they've made up that mash bill, it's aged for a couple years in New American oak and then finished with French oak. And I do love a good French oak finished bourbon. Usually brings out a lot of good spicy qualities to it and just overall a little sweeter, nuttier profile as well. So let's just see how well Brent Young does with his whiskey. Let's get into it. I do kind of love these tall, skinny bottles here. They show up really well on a bar back. Really easy to store too if you're that kind of person too. And as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hang around for a bit, become a member if you'd like. If you're interested in some other reviews from the Cali Distillery that I'll be doing, links to those videos will be up above and down below, along with a link to their website so you can check them out for yourself, learn a little bit about their process, and hunt yourself down a bottle as well. Ooh, it's a great pop. Beautiful color on there, I'll say that much already. Yeah, it's actually very dark. It's got a beautiful dark red tinge to things. That is pretty. It's gorgeous. Alrighty, let's go for notes. Oh, wow. Okay, hold on. This has got some good profiles going on here. Yeah, so right away you get kind of a buttery sweet corn note. Like a little bit of grain sweetness in there. And then the higher rye build is showing up. You're getting a bit of spicy, a little herbal, some minty freshness underneath that. Some good oakiness and char levels going on in here. It's coming across as a much older bourbon. I'm thinking like 5 to 6 years old on the nose. And that could be from the finishing process to kind of round things out. But if it is, it's beautiful. That spiciness from the French oak is coming across. Little sweet tart apples, like green Granny Smith apples are showing up. And the malt is really present. And what's coming across is kind of like a chocolate malt milkshake. Like just a little bit of a chocolate malt, or like Whoppers. You get that kind of sweet yet malty note going on. No ABV, nothing harsh, no off notes. I am getting a bit of waxiness in here, and that can come either from a craft distillery side of things or sometimes from French oak finishing. But I'll tell you what, that nose is approachable, spicy, and that maltiness in there I'm digging. Let's go for a taste. Ooh, yeah. Coats the palate beautifully. A lot of that sweet buttery corn notes showing up. Nice char levels going on. Sweet oak is also in there a little bit as well. The maltiness is beautiful. It's soft. It doesn't take over the palate. It doesn't get too malty. You do find a little bit of that chocolate in there, and I'm digging that a lot. And then I'm finding that lovely spicy rye note. It comes across a little bit of like spearmint and just a little bit of like an herbalness going on there too. That is a good sip. Like that is exactly what I was hoping for when I seen this release come out. It's just the right amounts of each of the grain notes, and that French oak finishing didn't take over, but accented the bourbon. Loving that rye build. I've been on a rye kick lately, so seeing something come across with a higher rye build to it, big thumbs up. Just enough spiciness to really kind of lift things up, bring a little bit of that herbalness in there. And I'm also getting maybe a little bit of like a sage showing up. The cling on the palate's got a nice waxiness to it overall. Beautiful chocolatiness in there. Yeah, that is a winner in my book. And again, I've had a lot of French oak finished things, but I feel like their profile of sticking with that solid bourbon base prior to putting in the French oak really lifted this up to another level of just being just your common bourbon finish with French oak, because that higher proof brings across that subtle cling that you're hoping for. I love this. Third sip here, it's kind of giving me some nostalgia vibes of taking like slices of green apple, dipping those in homemade caramel, maybe a little sprinkle of like a cinnamon on top as well. Honestly, this is a bottle you could grab, get around a campfire, bonfire with some friends. Everybody gets a pour of that and just really kicks back and has a good time. I love the malty chocolate notes in here. It's a wonderful sip. I am impressed by that quite a bit. That is just a really darn good sip. Alrighty, well, let's talk about a grade for this bad boy. Well, to be honest, when it comes to pricing on it, you're going to find this right around that $50 to $55-ish price range. And to be honest, it gets an A- in my book. I think between the high rye mash bill playing so well with that French oak cask gives it just a beautiful finish to things. And that chocolate malt that I kept getting throughout the process just dialed it up another notch. Being a celebrity branded bourbon, it doesn't feel like a cash grab. There was actual forethought put into this release. The branding is very subtle on there. The mash bill is great. You have an awesome proof point. They could have easily dropped this to 40% ABV and threw it on the shelf, but they chose not to. And on top of that, the French oak finishing didn't take over the bourbon, nor was it invisible to the process. Again, for me, I could easily pick up a bottle of this, invite some friends over, fire up that bonfire on a summer night. Everybody gets a dram of this and just sit back and enjoy it because it's just that easy to drink. And again, if you're interested in learning more about the Cali Distillery or Tower 11 Bourbon, a link to their website will be down in the description area below. Go show them some love. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Cali Distillery Tower 11 Bourbon Whiskey finished with French oak. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirits I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may our last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, and I really like it might not.